Hello, friends. Welcome back to Sort of Ambitious. I'm Jenna.
I'm Shannon.
We're coming to you live with just a quick recap because we've lost now two podcasts. Who's counting anymore? And so this is really just for our own sake. So we have talked about this. We are sorry if you've heard any portion of it, but we're gonna get the ball rolling because again, this is the third time we have tried to record.
Technology is not on our side, but we're trying again.
I was gonna say, let's just start with our wins and losses, highs and lows, highs and woes, whatever you want to call it. I can't read mine, so Shannon had to remind me what I said last time we did this because apparently I have terrible handwriting when it comes to this. Is like you can't see, but like, who writes like this? What does this say right here? No.
Just a little scribble across.
Scribble. I put that my win was being home because we have been gone quite a bit. So very happy to be home. All like wonderful things, amazing things that we have been able to celebrate. Friends had babies and we got to love on their other baby while they were, bringing new life into the world. Amazing. We've had like baby showers happening, and I just feel like January to February, there was something every single weekend. And so to be home for sure is my like win for the week.
I feel like a lot of it was baby oriented too, which
it was so baby oriented. All the things. All my friends are having kids, and it's like round 2, and I'm just like, whoa! Still trying to plan the wedding over here. Don't be putting any babies in me yet. Okay, we did. I'm trying to think of what else did we talk about? My invites, wedding related invites are ordered. So check
so
off
exciting
the list. If you don't receive one in like a month, you're either not invited or it got lost in the mail. I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm really working on it. The guest list.
Those are a lot of work. Like
they are a lot of work.
Compiling names, addresses, like if people have moved, if they.
Yes, and I feel like there are several of my friends who have moved. Like out of state. I have cousins that apparently live in Utah. Had no idea. I just am like, my other cousin lives in Indiana. I was like, I'm so sorry. Why don't I know anything about your life? Please don't feel like you have to fly to me. Wow. I should know more about you. So anyways, it's been a whole thing, like trying to collect all of that stuff. And for people that I do have their addresses, or like I probably sent them a Christmas card 2 months ago, I don't have my list of addresses. So I've had to like text people and be like, I'm so sorry I asked you for this like a month ago, but I don't know where my list is. And just in order to not stress myself out, I'm just asking again. So I'm sorry that I'm asking again. But yeah, my address list is gone. I need an address book. I told Kyle that and he goes, you want an address book to write down the addresses that you just put into the website that you can like write them on the envelopes, and then you want to write them again in a book? And
I'm on Hib's side. That's a lot of work.
I was like, I need the book. My mom always had an address book and I made fun of her all the time, but the amount of things that I actually send in the mail.
Yeah.
I think I need one. And Shannon's has changed 4 times since I've known her in the 3 years. And I just need to be updated. I just need an address book. Okay. That's my final thought on that. I'm going wedding dress shopping on Saturday. We talked about this. Yeah. 2 places. Shannon got to go with me in Denver, and because that's when she lived in Colorado, you guys, she lived in a different state at that point. So we did it in Colorado. It was super fun. I fell in love with one, but I couldn't make a decision because it was the first time I had ever tried on dresses. So yes, Saturday, I'm going to 2 places here in Bend where I live. No inconvenience on my part. It's just down the street. And I'm so excited to
it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. There are 136 days till my wedding. I was going to say our wedding. You
So
and I.
our matrimony.
So mine and Shannon's wedding. Last time we recorded this, there was 148 days. So if that gives you any idea of like how quickly freaking time goes, even just a couple days, that's just a lot. I feel like we're 100 days plus a month away.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
I have too much to do. Don't ask what the to-do list is. And then the bachelorette party it was 138 days. I couldn't do the math quick enough to tell you. Not 38. Not 138. 38.
I was like, huh?
Wait a second.
When are you going? That's not what I'm going.
38 days. It's technically like a month and a couple weeks. You know,
Yeah.
a month and a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we have that to look forward to. And then, again, for my own sake, I have weaned my son. I'm no longer breastfeeding, moving into baby things. We're full, probably month in now of no breastfeeding. Being around the newborn, though, however, did bring my milk supply back. So that's been something I'm managing.
I still can't really wrap my head around the fact that like it's not
Yeah.
your baby. You
Not
weren't
my baby.
like actively trying to do anything with the baby in your body.
No.
Still just like, do you need this?
Yeah, like barely
Do you help?
even held the baby because honestly it was like hours old. It was like at least only just one day old when it came home. And yeah, she just is like, she's so precious and so tiny. And like, again, it just felt crazy to hold a newborn after, you know, we're now way far out of the newborn stage. Cohen is a year and a half old. He wasn't last time we recorded, but he is now. He's a year and a half old.
So amazing.
So yeah, I was very ready to be done nursing. But I am trying to figure it out, like the boob situation and like milk coming in, because I think my body was like done producing. And then I don't think your ducts like close. I don't really understand how it all works in there, but like I can tell that it was having a hard time bringing in what it was trying to bring in because it was kind of painful. And like I couldn't lay on my chest like normal. I had to like actually like, what is it called? Self-express, like in the shower, get them warm. So for those of you who don't care about that stuff, sorry, but that's where I'm at. Real
reality.
life.
It's
Real life over here. Did not expect for my milk to come in after a month of like it being done though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that was my catch up for Shannon. And like I said, we did talk about it, so sorry to kind of like rush through it. Fans. But that's where I'm at.
Yeah, my win was with this podcast. I've just kind of made it a goal of mine to really tackle social media really heavily and really try my best to like post every single day. I'm honestly better at TikTok or remembering to do TikTok than anything else, which is surprising, but it's just a little bit easier, I feel like.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of all that, my win is that I found out that our episode that was Am I the Asshole episode was a trend that all these other popular podcasts ended up doing either the same time of us or right after, which just is really cool because I feel like typically being a brand new podcast or like doing something just for fun, we're not necessarily like at the top of the trend game, but that time it felt like we were because it was just an idea out of our heads that we thought was cool and we wanted to do, and then turn around and see it on all these other big podcasts, like big podcasts that they were putting out at the same time or like a week later. So like we were up with the trend without even like meaning to. So that just felt really cool for us.
Yes, I love that.
Be up there with the big time.
Like I said, then, which you guys haven't heard, we're still trying to remember what we said and what we didn't. Yes, our podcasts were lost. I did compliment Shannon then. I was like, you are killing it at like, I just feel like you're making our content funny with kind of what we had stored in our drafts because we don't live together. We don't live near each other. we're states away, and like, again, this is just a really fun thing for us to get together and like catch up, and then, you know, throw in some spice, like am I the asshole things, or like bring our guys on and do a funny couples game, which is another one that you guys don't get to listen to because we lost it. But like, Shannon is doing a good job with, like, we only had one night to bust out all these TikToks, and we took a couple shots and we just went for it. And I feel like that was just the most fun. And she did such a good job of like making them into funny things that maybe aren't necessarily trending now, but like she's doing a great job of putting all the sounds and making it relatable to like our podcast and what we talk about, even though, again, it's really just our mom life and what we're going through. And we're just happy that you guys listen. So I did compliment her then, and complimenting her again because she is doing a really great job with all the tech stuff. And I've been no help whatsoever other than helping lose stuff. And like,
no, honestly,
and I appreciate it.
You show up and record. That's something I cannot do by myself. So, but then on the other spectrum of that, my low of the week, or my loss of the week, has been screen time. I feel like it kind of hit me with how much I was looking at my personal phone, and then also like how my son was doing with screen time. I think I've said it on a podcast at the beginning of January, but like with the holidays, we definitely relied on like the iPad for traveling, because it was 2-3 days of traveling each way. And then we went directly into a move. And so it was like packing up the house, getting him back in the car. And then once we actually got here, you know, trying to get our life organized, I definitely relied on the screen a little bit. I feel like I'm feeling that weight now. So trying to clean that up. I'm pretty excited because I ordered him a birthday present that, I'm pretty excited to give him, that I think is going to be like a really good substitute for when those times where he like is bored of his physical toys and wants to do something else. I think I got him something that he'll enjoy, hopefully. If he likes it, I'll let you guys know what it is and how it goes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's kind of just been my struggle. So like personally, I've made it so that during the morning when we wake up, we have our morning routine and we get outside as much as possible, as long as it's not like a torrential downpour. And then like if he watches a movie in the afternoon or something like that, great. But I just really try not to get the day started that way. And then for me personally, I have put some timers like on my phone for different social media apps and like screen time, so that if I am having one of those evenings where like I'm just vegging the whole evening after he goes to sleep, that like my phone reminds me, oh yeah, you've been on the TikTok for this many minutes or whatever. And I'll just kind of be like, okay, yeah, time to put it down. I'm not getting anything out of this, so I can just go do something else. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Question before we start our what are they again? Our things.
Yes. Our topic of today.
Our topic of today. But question before we actually start that. Are you guys watching anything are you guys, like you and Kendrick, watching anything?
We're still watching New Amsterdam, which I still really like.
You told me about. Okay.
I don't know if it's like starting to get a little repetitive now. It is, like I said, I think I told you this already. It's kind of like a similar thing to Grey's Anatomy. I've never seen Grey's Anatomy, but it's a hospital show with like storylines within the employees of the hospital. And so I have a feeling it's going to start to get a little dry with like how much drama can they bring to it. But I really liked it so far.
I just couldn't remember if we had talked about that on one that actually got posted. But Kyle and I have been just like binging Survivor, and it's like when Cohen goes to sleep. That's why I was like, I don't know if I've told Shannon or not. Excuse me, but I'm gonna put Cohen to sleep and then like watch like a couple episodes, and we have just gotten so into it.
I used to love Survivor, and I think we both know that I used to love Amazing Race too. And
Amazing Race, yes.
That you bring that up because Kendrick tonight just found a new show because he was like, "Are you into like, I forgot what word he called them, but he was like adventure shows," and I was like, "What do you?
Yeah,
what
like
do you mean
challenge shows or like
yes,
yeah, that makes
and
sense."
I love those, and he was like, have you ever watched one that's like a storyline? And I was like, what are you getting at? Like, I know you have a show in mind. What is it?
Just tell me what it is.
He wanted to watch the National Treasure. Like, I don't know if you remember the movies. They were with Nicolas Cage back when we were.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They made a show out of it. And so he wanted to start that. So I was like, yeah, I'm down. Like, it's a show. But I'm obsessed with, like, or I used to be obsessed with Survivor and Amazing Race.
Yeah,
and I love the challenge. MTV The Challenge is, like, my shit. So
I love that. I feel like at first it was kind of like, oh, I'll just put this on, whatever. I'll leave it on in the background, like, while I'm doing stuff. I'm not going to pay attention. And then it absolutely sucked me in. And I needed to know all the people and their life and their stories. And I have opinions on all of them. And and Kyle and I both just sit there and have the best time just chatting about it. Because there was two seasons that they put on Netflix. And we watched them both, I think. And
so was it like current Survivor? Like no, Survivor still on CBS?
I mean, I do think I think it's still going.
Wow.
However, it's the seasons we watched were season 18 and then like season 32 or something. Like they were like separated. And then the one we're watching right now is just, I think, 33. But yeah, just that's like crazy. It's such a great show. It's just so good. And I feel like I for sure, I feel like I've mentioned this, but my parents used to have like Survivor parties with their friends and we'd go watch it at their house and stuff. And so we've been obsessed. And so if I've said that before, I'm so sorry for repeating myself. But again, we don't know which ones we've posted and which ones
we're lost. We're jumbled.
We're a little lost.
But our topic of today is going to be hot takes. And so
hot takes.
I thought this would be fun. Things that we either like hear people talk about or are in the news or just like common right now. That we either do or don't agree with. Like, we are the non-normal to it. So I thought I would start off with some.
Yeah, you go for it because I was a little confused what hot takes were. And I was like, I read it hot cakes first because I read it too fast. And then I was like, wait a second, what about pancakes? And then I was like, I'm confused. And so, yeah, I'm going to go off what Shannon gives
I'll give my first two and hopefully they're good examples for you to kind of get the idea. So the first one I wrote down was the Stanley tumbler. Have you heard about the Stanley tumbler?
Yes, Shannon. Of course I have. Do you have one?
I have one. And my hot take is I don't like it. Not worth it. No, not a fan.
I don't have one, so I can't relate to having one.
I luckily did not purchase it myself because I think they're like $70. I think I'm not really positive. They're expensive though. I know that.
Like an expensive water bottle,
and it leaks the lid. Like it's one of those lids where you have to WrestleMania it on for it to like not move around. And
I'm so glad you're telling me this.
Later, when you want to like either fill the water back up or you want to wash it, you have to like literally break your wrist off to get it back open. Yes, it's convenient that I guess like it's a big thing and it fits in a cup holder or like, you know, whatever people's comments are on it. But the leaking aspect of it, it ruins it for me 100%. Like any other water bottle I've had. Yeah, I bought stuff from like Target that, you know, it's just a lid with a straw and it will tip over and it won't leak. But like that thing, anytime it tips over, it's not even a dribble. It's a full spill. And so I do use it because, you know, it was gifted to me and I know they're nice, but no, I want to go back to my Hydro Flask. I'm over it.
I love that because Kyle has sent me a couple videos of like Stanley Cup things. They're Stanley Cup water bottles. And at one point he was like, I'd watched them kind of without him. Usually he gets very upset if I watch the TikToks he sent me without him. I don't understand why it's a guy thing. They need to see the reaction in person when they send it. So it's all the time. He gets really frustrated if I watch it without him. So I try not to, but there have been a few that I've been like, I'm going to watch it. So that being one of them, I like didn't really say anything about those to him. And again, he didn't get to see my reaction. So he brought up the Stanley Cup ones and he was like, babe, do do you have a Stanley Cup? And I was like, no. Have you seen those water bottles? Like, do you know how much they cost? I did not buy myself one of those. That's crazy. And he goes, do you need a Stanley Cup? Because isn't it like a Stanley Cup mom thing? And I was like, I mean, they are kind of like the cool cups on the, they're the cool cups around. But I was like, I don't think I need one, babe. And he was like, all right, I was just checking because I've seen a lot of moms have them. So just want to make sure.
The thing I do want to try, and it's only because I saw a girl that I went to high school with who was like, 6 months ago, oh my God, yay, I finally got my Stanley, and like was so excited. And then probably like 3 weeks ago, she's like, for anyone that hates the Stanley, the Brewmate water bottle is amazing. And so like when she posted that story, that like made me realize, I was like, oh my God, I do hate my Stanley, and the Brewmate.
Like, I do like my Brewmate cup that I have.
Half the
I do
cost.
like it. I think I have two. I have like a wine one, and then I have a one for my drinks, like these.
Yes. Everyone that has a Brewmate whatever says they like it. So I feel like if you want to spend, more than like a $5-10 water bottle, I'm assuming they're more expensive than $10. My vote would be for the Brewmate, even though I've never had it. I would just say, do not spend your money on Stanley.
Okay.
That's my hot take.
Perfect. I'm sorry. My sparkling coconut water with Yeezy?
Little Uzi Vert.
Yes, I cannot stop burping. It's actually disgusting. So sorry.
So I actually have a kind of a good solid list. I have 5 here.
Okay, you give me another one, and then I'm gonna keep thinking because I wrote one down, but I don't really. We'll see how it.
My other hot take is has to do with Harry Styles, and I'm a little bit nervous to say this one. I'm a little bit nervous to like offend any.
Okay, I'm just gonna. You keep going. Don't make fun of me. I'm gonna just Google his face real quick so that I can like
go for it.
Picture him.
Go for it.
I know I should know. I do know I should know this. All the things about this guy. I don't.
I don't know what his fan base is called. I don't know if they're like Harriers or Stylers or
Harriers. I'm sorry. I don't want to be one of those.
I don't know what they're called. I don't know, but I don't want to offend. The Harry Styles
he was
fans.
like the one that was in One Direction.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yes. And then now he's like solo.
Yeah, and I don't know his whole story at all. My hot
think that's all I know.
Though, is he is currently like a little sex icon, or like someone that
like looking at the photos he posts. Like, what is happening over here?
Exactly. And I just don't see it. I don't see
it.
the swoon. So a lot of people are comparing him to like Bon Jovi. Like Bon Jovi was just a style, like adventurous on the style and adventurous on like being like androgynous and all that, which I can respect that. Like he does wear stuff that's just unique to him.
Or kind of like did you watch the Queen? Was it Queen documentary?
Yeah. Well, no, Prince.
Was it Prince? I do feel like there was a documentary on Netflix that I watched that the main person, I should know who it was.
Oh, no, you're right. Queen with,
I think it was Queen.
Freddie Mercury.
Yes. I feel like I get those kind of vibes, but also I wasn't super like attracted to that type of vibe. So I feel like,
so I can respect like how people are like fans of him because he's so, like influential.
Somewhat unique. Yeah. Like,
and how people can feel like they relate to him, but the whole like sex icon part of it, where people are like actually attracted to him,
I don't see that.
I can't see that.
I'm not. No, I agree. I agree with you. I'm not a Harry's.
Harry's.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not one of those people.
Whatever they are, they're probably a completely different name. They're probably like
I know.
Pumpkins.
I do think I like his music because sometimes it'll come on like on a playlist or something, and I like sing the whole song or like know the words and it's catchy, and then I look at it, and I'm like, oh, that's Harry Styles.
No, 100%. I think his music's good. Honestly, I haven't listened. I know I've heard what they called One Direction songs. But since they've all gone solo, I actually like a lot of the songs that like they've put out individually. Like I think it was 2 years ago on my Spotify Wrapped, one of Zayn's song was like one of my top 3. And I didn't even like put together that was
a lot of his. I also forgot that he was a part of that.
Yeah, and like I know that I can't remember the other one's name, but there's another one that has written like a love song that was just like so good, and I was like, ooh, this is just a perfect wedding song, you know. So they've definitely made some music where I'm like, this is really good music. But
yeah, I feel like
I wasn't a fan of them as in One Direction, so I don't feel like I ever got that like middle school girl crush on them.
I wasn't that way either. I don't really remember. I like couldn't tell you a song that they sang. If it came on, I'd probably be like, "Oh, yeah, that's it." But I was not a huge like One Direction fan. So
my brain went to One Less Lonely Girl, but that's Justin Bieber, right?
That's Bieber. That's my man over there. That's Bieber.
I actually don't think I know a One Direction song off the top of my head. Oh wait, there's one that's like no, I don't know. I don't know. It's gone. I don't know them.
Okay. This one I'll just throw one in there and then you can go again because I only wrote down one since this, but I guess it could be kind of dumb, but I wrote Shein because I love that website. Like it takes forever to get. I've heard so many people complain about like packaging like smell, but I feel like that's when they get like something that's like a weird texture, like not a real leather or like I don't know, faux something that they've tried to create and it didn't turn out well. But like I have literally loved like 98% of the things that I've gotten from them. And I would really like someone to confirm if the $750 thing that you see on TikTok all the time is real, because if it is, I would love for Shein to give me $750.
What is this?
It's like I don't know. You have to like download. You have to go through these steps. You have to play this game. You have to get to a certain level in a game, and then you have to like answer the survey questions, like do all these things. But like I've seen so many people do it, but I still don't believe it. So I just want someone to confirm, like for real, maybe from Shein, however you say it.
I'm gonna need an employee
to Shein. Is that what
I've always heard people say like Shein,
like, that's what I always say. But then I feel like when I say that, people are like, "It's Shein," and I'm like she's in, like, ooh, she in. Like, okay,
maybe I guess that kind of makes sense.
What do you think of Shein? How do you feel about it?
I honestly haven't bought anything on Shein in a really, really, really long time. I think the last time was actually for my bachelorette party. I bought like some just simple white dresses.
Well, those dresses
which again,
were
they were fine for me, and you know, they did the job. I think the only thing that I like don't like about it is, and I think it kind of has to go with what you're saying, is the predictability of things. Like I feel like you look at a picture of what it is, and you even read the model's like height and whatever metrics, and sometimes you can still get it and just be like, this doesn't look like what they made it look like. Not that it is bad quality or that it was like, you know, trash. It just was like, that doesn't look like what it did. But I think that was only like a couple items. But overall, I feel like I've liked everything I've bought. And
I love it. I currently have a huge cart for my own bachelorette party, and that was
I've gone on there for your bachelorette party, and I've been like, I feel like these are just exactly what I'm looking for, because they have literally everything.
They have everything,
and you can't argue when it's like $10.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say my my cart on there's pretty big at this moment in time, but it's probably because I've been like adding to it for months and months, and I'm not gonna get all those things, but. That was my dream last night. So I was dreaming about not inviting anybody. Now I'm dreaming that it is time for us to get to packing, and I didn't order anything. It's like, you leave tomorrow. Jenna, you forgot to buy the cart. You didn't purchase anything. Nothing came in the mail. What are you going to wear?
I didn't know Shein took a while, so I should order it like now.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh.
like, it just at least in the next like week or two, order some things just to have the few things, you know, the important stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep thinking I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars on these dresses that I find, because I see them and I'm like, oh my god, I need that one. And then it's like, I would never. I'm not going to spend that much money. So, Shein is the way to go for me. I'm going to make it fabulous.
I love that.
Regardless.
I think it's a great hot take.
Okay, hit me with your next one, Shannon.
I'm going to skip a couple because I feel like it goes along with what you just said. My next one is Poshmark. Have you heard?
Confusing.
Of Poshmark?
It's so confusing to me.
So confusing. I feel like I've heard a lot of people that love Poshmark and they're like, oh, it's so great. I always get like a good amount of money for the clothes that I'm reselling. It's always been super simple and easy. And I think it was this summer, I was at a wedding. I met a girl who works for Poshmark and she had like nothing but good things to say about working for Poshmark. And I just have to say that every single time I've tried to do it, like I've done a chunk of clothes, it just has never worked. And one, it's so time consuming to sit there and like take pictures of all your clothes and then also input all the information about it, like brand, size. You have to write a little description about it. And it's like, I'm not the website. Like, just look at the picture and look at the size. Is that what you want? And then you're sitting there, you know, you're putting in like, how much do you pay for this top? $50. Oh, our suggested retail is $8 for that. So then you put in, okay, I guess I'll settle this for $8, even though Plato's Closet would probably take more than that. And then it's like your percentage or your like earnings off of this is $2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you want me to do like all the work to get $3? I could just keep my shirt for $3.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, I do feel like I like to thrift shop because I feel like I'm very like fast fashion, which is probably why I like Shein stuff. I have a few pieces I really love and I keep forever, but then like the other things I could really care less. If I wore it to the event, I got the pictures in it, I'm like done. I don't really care. And so I just feel like even sometimes thrifting, because I feel like Poshmark and like a thrift styled Instagram or like a what's it called, Plato's Closet type of store, I have brought clothes in before and it's just been like, are you serious? That's all you're going to give me? But then you're going to sell it, because I've also seen what you're selling things for. And like, if you're going to get that much money out of somebody, like why couldn't I get that much money out of somebody? Is kind of how I feel. And then I feel like I have to do the work, and then I don't want to. And like, I have a whole pile of clothes just sitting in front of my mirror right there for days.
No, 100%. I feel like I
just get frustrated being like, I don't want to give you that much money for it. I don't think it's not worth
every girl I feel like has gone through the experience of going to a Plato's Closet with like nice clothes. Like you spent a good amount of money on these clothes and they're sitting there being like, so the best we can give you is $12. And then you look over at the rack and they have like a Hollister cami for when we were in middle school. That's like $14.50
with like the lace on the top.
The lace on the top and the bottom. And they're like vintage $14. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? I just gave you like a legitimate brand. And the only thing I've ever sold off of Poshmark is Lululemon, but it just always makes me really mad because it tells me, like, obviously Lululemon is a brand that I know people are going to buy, but I'll put in there like, oh, these leggings cost me, $112 or $94 or whatever the crazy amount was. And it says like suggested retail is $30. Obviously someone's going to scoop up those leggings for $30, but you're telling me that's what I should put it at? Like, if you know people are going to scoop it up, like, let's put 70 at least.
Right.
But then I don't want to sit on it. If I put a high number, I don't want to sit there and like track it. I just want someone to buy
I don't do it. I feel like if I ever did put something on Poshmark, it was like once upon a time, years and years and years ago. And I was like, oh, this is going to be too much for me. I can't.
That's my hot take.
Okay. This one you might not know anything about because I don't really know anything about it, but my friends who are in the know know. So, do you know anything about crystal candy?
No, never heard of it.
Okay, it's on TikTok. It's probably going to pop up now. It's a hot take on TikTok. And maybe we should get some and try some. So, Jazz got some, and she's been like sending us Snapchats of her trying different flavors. And the sound, Shannon, is so satisfying. No, that
What is
sounds
it?
like crazy.
It's like Pop Rocks?
I guess. Speaking of Pop Rocks.
No shit. You have Pop Rocks right now? You have blue ras Pop Rocks?
I don't know why I have them. I pulled them out of my drawer. Like, I literally pulled them out of my drawer and just set them here. That's so funny that you say that.
That's
but I was gonna like
weird, dude. That's fucking weird.
I was literally just gonna be like, I'm gonna taste these Pop Rocks because for one, I don't know how long they've been in there.
Yeah, they're probably crunchy.
Right? So I'm nervous. Do they expire? I'm like trying to read the label. There's really not much on the label. So I was like,
it's like,
fuck.
Eat at your own risk.
This could be good or bad. But yeah, they've literally just been sitting right here this whole time.
That's really weird.
I grabbed that with my chips and my chips and my Yuzu water.
Jenna comes to every podcast recording with like snacks and food, and then she's like, "Oh wait, this is really loud.
This is loud." I do it every time. Like, I'm gonna sit here and munch while we're talking on microphones. I just get excited, and I feel like food makes me happy, and this makes me happy. So I'm like getting
it's
all
just like
things.
And sit down, chill.
Gets her cozy blanket and she's all ready. And I'm like, no, I need some food. I need to sip on something.
Yes.
I'm like not supposed. I was trying not to drink till my bachelorette party. Well, we've failed, so it's okay. Cal told me I had to have a tolerance so I don't get kicked out of my own bachelorette party like I got kicked out of Shannon's.
That's probably something I should be aware
So
of.
I'm gonna I was gonna have a little cider tonight, but I didn't. I just stuck with my Yuzu water.
Okay, so what is crystal candy though?
Candy. I don't really know what it is. But I do know that it does kind of sound like Pop Rocks when you like bite into it, and it like is, I don't want to say mushy, but it like looks soft because I'm really only going off of the video that Jasmine has sent us.
You know what we should do for a podcast?
Like a crystal. It looks like a crystal, and you bite into it, and it sounds like it would be a soft bite, but then it has that pop rocky texture.
Whoa.
To it.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure it'll be on my TikTok
I think we should
tomorrow.
try it. We should get it. We should try it.
I was gonna say a new podcast idea is getting like viral foods, because have you seen those like spicy, like flavored, not spicy, but like flavored pickles that are in a bag?
No. I'm
We could try those.
Flavored pickles.
I feel like there's other viral food that we could try.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I would love to do that.
If anyone wants like an ASMR podcast where we just eat and
we're just gonna eat and then
this is good.
Oh god,
I'm down for that one.
Okay. Okay. The only
my last
do you wanna,
one. Well, I have a couple other ones, but this is the only one that I feel heavily about. Influencers. And I know that's a very like broad. Is that one of yours? Okay, well, let me say my part and then see if you have a completely different hot
literally
take.
said influencers. I'm dying that is what
so
you wrote
funny.
Down. Nah. This is why we do this together, you guys.
My
She told
hot
me
take about
nothing.
influencers.
I had no idea what we were talking about tonight.
My hot take about influencers is they don't actually influence me to buy or try do anything. With the exception, I've definitely got some ideas from people. There are exceptions. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I follow a few influencers. It's more primarily on Instagram. I feel like influencers are from Instagram, but I follow a few that like I've followed here and there throughout the years, but they have like cult followings, and they will do a collab with like a blanket brand, and their blankets will sell out in 35 minutes, or like they will say,
wild,
oh, the new thing is to put pineapple in your Diet Coke, and now everyone's trying pineapple and Diet Coke, or whatever the crazy things are. And I guess my hot take is just like, I don't feel like I sit there and I'm like, oh, okay, they say
this person did it, so I
must need it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only times I feel like I'm truly influenced is when it's like I've been either having an idea or I've been wanting to do something, and they bring like a really creative way to do it. My example to that is I obviously love fitness and I love experimenting with fitness. And a few months ago, all over TikTok and Instagram was this like program to do on the treadmill where it was like walking at an incline of 12% at 3 miles per hour for 30 minutes and you're going to like shred fat. And I saw these comments that are like, oh my God, that'd be so hard, or that worked so well for me. And I was influenced to try it because I just wanted to see, I'm just competitive like that. I just wanted to see what it was like. And like, did I find it challenging? Did I notice a difference or whatever? But I wasn't necessarily influenced because I was like, oh, it worked for that person, it's gonna work for me.
Yeah.
I was more like, oh, that's cool. I want to try it and see if I have the same like feeling as them. And I feel like the only other time I've been like truly influenced was, and it's actually probably more since having a kid, is like I'll get videos of someone being like, oh, this is a snack I made for my kid and he loved it. And I'm like, oh, I have those same ingredients in my house. I'll whip them up. But I'm not like going out and buying a $300 bag because they loved it, or this perfume because they loved it. I mean, I feel like the only time I'm influenced is if I'm thinking about something and then they bring me an option, and or if they have an option with a code. I'm like, well, I've been wanting to try it and now they have a code for 40% off. Kind of seems like a win. Does that make sense?
I feel, absolutely. I feel like the influencers that I like follow, I guess, I'm not like easily persuaded by like something that they told me. I feel like I do like the information because I feel like a lot of them do the research. At least the ones I follow, like people who are eating really healthy, or like making sure the gummies that they're giving their kids are good, or like, using certain types of oils for like natural remedies and things like that. I enjoy like kind of hearing their take on it, but then like they've done so much research and then I want to go see like, okay, is that worth it to me? Like you're telling me all these wonderful things. So then I want to go see like, is that price matching what I think is worth it? Because I also feel like I get that I want to I want, Cohen to be super healthy and I want to give him healthy things. But I also know like I have grown up in a world where I probably wasn't given the healthiest of things all the time. And like, I'm okay. Yes. And I'm fine. So I do try to be realistic about that aspect of things, because I do feel like those are the influencers that I'm seeing. It's not like buy this bag or buy this makeup. And when it is, I go look at it and I'm like, I would never buy that. Like,
or I'm just like, so they might through those stories. Like,
I was going to say they
makeup,
might,
so I'm just going to skip.
Yeah. They might get me to look at it, but like, have I ever actually purchased? No. I'm influenced by my friends, like Jasmine eating this crystal candy.
I'm going to say that it's my friends.
Like, it's my friends. Like, if you're going to tell me like, don't try this, I'm going to be like, all right, fuck that. But like, if you're going to tell me, you just
like, did with the family, you're like, okay, great.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I feel like if you tell me it's good, I'm going to believe you because I love you. And your opinion means far more to me than like a random person on the internet.
100%.
So, like, yeah, the crystal candy is probably my biggest thing right now because I didn't really know anything about it. And then my friends are good at just knowing the trends. They're just trendy girls. And it's why we all vibe. It's just great. But like when they said like, have you guys seen crystal candy? Of course. I'm like, no, I don't know what it is. So she got some and it looks fun. Looks like a fun candy. And I don't really like candy. So
the other thing I was going to say about influencers too is I feel like it's now just too broad of a term. There was like,
yeah, absolutely.
There was influencers and then there was micro influencers, and then there was like macro micro influencers, and then there was, TikTok influencers.
I think everybody
and
should
Instagram.
just I think I'm an influencer, only in the aspect of like I like to hear myself talk, and I'm gonna give you my opinion on what I'm doing, whether you want it or not.
Yes.
So like, I don't think I'm a real influencer where like people are actually listening to me. I have no, like it's just me in my own little world.
Yeah.
Talk about what I'm doing. And I feel like I've seen influencers kind of change over time. Where like they've started as a micro influencer, like someone who, yes, people probably listened to or had some sort of following or whatever. And then like the things that they do decide to share about, I'm just like, really? That's what you're okay. What an interesting.
You see them changing
now we're like,
from just like sharing their life to like calculated, like, oh, if I talk about this, then I can get a brand deal with this.
Calculated is a great word. Yes, that's exactly how I feel. Then I'm to the point where I'm like, I don't really care what you're saying.
I used to follow specifically these two like fitness girls. I followed them from when I was like in college. And then it was probably, 5 years ago. I feel like when things were really popping off for everyone, you could tell that they were specifically talking about, a certain protein brand. And then like 2 months later, they would come out with a flavor with this protein brand. And then all of a sudden they would have, a line with them. Or like one of them, was very heavily talking about like her fitness and like the way she ate. And then it went really quiet for a little bit. And it was just like, oh, I'm doing stuff in secret. And then all of a sudden she's come out with this full like program, and it costs, $180 a month to like work out how she was, even though she was giving it all away for free 4 months before. But she realized how she could make money off of it. And now all of a sudden, like, I'm not going to show you my workouts. I'm just going to charge you an insane amount to give you what
because I know you follow me. Yeah.
Which I respect the hustle. I mean, shit, if I ever get to that position, I would probably be doing the exact same thing. But it's like, it's just interesting when you can see when they like turn over for the check, when they're like,
when they've switched. Yeah. No, for sure. That's so funny that you wrote that down. Like I said, you guys, Shannon and I had like a very brief conversation about what we're going to talk about, because it really, again, is just our lives and us catching up. But when she told me that it was going to be hot takes, I did not know what we were talking about. I was like, hot takes. Okay, I'm going to let her take the reins, and I'm just going to, that's why she was like, when you just write some things down, I think you'll get it as soon as I tell you. Literally, like, two of the things were like basically the same idea. And I just, it might sound dumb, like hearing me say it how I'm saying it, but I just feel like we're just so in sync.
We are. It's impressive.
Even when we're like not really trying to be, I really just over here jotting things down and be like, okay, it's gonna be my turn next. I'm gonna have something to say. I think I'm gonna talk about this.
The other thing that I feel like is really impressive is usually I just spitball ideas that are half thought out, because like an idea will come to me as I'm like in the shower or like about to go to bed, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll totally remember that tomorrow. And then I type in my phone like hot takes, and then 3 weeks later I'm like, I wonder what that means. And then I'm like trying to come up with the definition of hot takes. I'm like, common things that we don't agree with. Hopefully she understands.
I know. I read that and I was like, I was like, oh shit, is there something? Because I feel like I'm pretty like go with the flow. I don't like to say I have an opinion about everything, because a lot of the times I just don't say it, or I don't feel like it's like the Stanley Cup. Like I feel like I have had my own thoughts about it. I for sure wanted one, didn't buy one, had my whole conversation with Kyle about it. It was a topic of conversation in my house for sure. But then like I just didn't really think about it. So when you said like hot takes, I'm like, am I even going to have an opinion on these things?
I feel like that goes with the influencing thing that we were saying though, because I also feel like when Stanley Cups were really talked about, I was like, oh, looks like a nice insulated water bottle. That's cool. But like, I was not influenced to go buy one, because I was like, well, I'm sitting there rationally. I was like, well, I already have a Hydro Flask.
I was gonna say, I have 5 water bottles.
Yeah, like, no, I don't need it. And then, like I said, it was gifted to me, and so I'm not going to ever act like I'm not appreciated. Once I was gifted to me, I was really excited that I got it. I was like, this is so cool. Oh my God. I'm like, you know,
it's a club. It's a Stanley Cup club.
And then I quickly was like, this is not all it's cracked up to be, which is probably I just realized, why people talk about it and then they just like give up on it a month later because they realize it kind of sucks. But
I was going to say, I've been watching a lot of Cars because my son's obsessed with the movie Cars currently.
Same.
And
watched it today.
He tries to race for the Stanley Cup. That's the prize at the end. Is a Stanley Cup.
Wait, I thought it was a piston cup.
Oh wait,
it's a piston cup. Because Mater at one point goes, he piston what?
Yes. It is a piston cup.
Stanley Cup is probably hockey.
Okay, so is a trophy.
It is a trophy. It's the NHL.
Okay.
Trophy.
Well, scratch that, and I.
Well, I know that. Well, I know that also because my son, we watch it all the time. He always goes, Cars 2, because he likes that one the best. But I know that because of the Mater part, where they're like, I just really want a piston cup. And Mater's like, he piston what? And then Mater's my favorite.
Gonna say, Mater's my favorite too. I was gonna say that he's like, some grumpy old race car told me once that it's just an empty cup.
That's true too.
I was like, I feel like, well, if they're just spilling everywhere, I mean, so are the Stanley Cups.
I get where you're trying to go there. I like it. I like it.
So yeah, anyway, our piston cups are doing
piston
great.
Cups is not worth it. Don't buy it, you guys. Get a broom instead.
Okay, I want to hear your other ones because now I feel like I get it and I want to.
Okay, these two are just quick off the dome. I didn't really think that much about them. And you may be offended by one of them. I just want to say because yes, because I feel like I know you. I just don't get the hype on Snapchat, and I don't think I ever have got the hype on Snapchat. I'm not a Snapchatter. Okay. I feel like back in the day when it was popular, because for those youngins that don't know, Snapchat was the first one to come out with stories before Instagram did. Yeah. I thought that feature was cool.
Oh, I hated it, Shannon, when it came out. I was really mad about it.
I liked it.
Yes.
I just never understood the I thought it was cool to take photos and that's what you send to people versus texting. I just never really got the deleting in 24 hours, and it mostly bothered me because I'm someone that cannot remember what
I responded them. Or if I respond or what I sent. Yeah.
Yes. So they would respond with ha ha ha, that's so funny, and I'd be like, what'd I say? I don't remember. That was 24 hours ago and it's gone now.
I know. I do feel like I'm terrible. I
can't believe you sent that to me, and I'd be like, what the hell did I send you? And then, but I have been locked out of Snapchat 3 or 4 times. I've made new accounts every time to try to get back in because I do have the Snapchat memories on there. And my most recent time that I was logged out, I just never went back in because I was like, you know what? I just don't like it. Don't use it. Not about it.
I would say I would be sad if the memories that were in there are gone because my Snapchat story time started at in 2016 during my first girls trip vacation to Vegas. So we have just some really good core memories in there together. And I feel like it was such a an archive for so long from 2016 to now. That's a long time.
That's so
to
true.
have memories in there that if they're gone, then those videos, those pictures and all that stuff is gone, and some of them could probably for sure disappear. I've seen we like to send each other all the ones where we're real crazy, real fucked up, and there's just some really good ones in there. But I feel like now, since we've still had it, Kyle and I, it's mostly Kyle and I that play with Snapchat and send it back and forth. Now for my friends and I, we just send each other our memories. Like we're not using it like we did before, but those memories are for sure still there. I had a bunch from Seafood and Wine Festival pop up literally today. And then that was my whole group chat all day today. Was like, did you guys know that swine is this weekend? Seafood and Wine Festival. And like, it's just fun to have those memories. Now I have the ones with Kyle and Cohen where we've sent each other back and forth videos from like when he was even only, days old or months old. And so now I love those. And I feel like we try to send those there just because we know like if for some reason they were, it'll stay and it's there. And like you get the reminder and it'll pop up that this happened on that day. And so those have been really fun for us now. No, but I definitely don't use it as much as I used to. And I forget to check it. I forget to respond. I try to just send videos of Cohen to my family, my sisters, my mom. But other than that, I'm like, I text most of you all the time, or I have a thread with you somewhere, or I'm talking to you on TikTok, or I'm talking to you on Instagram.
Exactly. I think that's also what got me with Snapchat was it came out. I had it in college, like 2012, 2013, 2014.
Well, yeah. I was going to say I had it then. The stories is what was new back in 2016. So that's what saved.
The other thing that got me about it was back then, you would be like Snapchatting someone and then you would see them an hour later and you'd be having a completely different conversation with them in person. And then you go back to Snapchat and it'd be a different conversation. I don't know if anyone else experienced that, but like, that's also what really confused me was I was like, why you were just Snapchatting me, and we were having a conversation about this. We saw each other in person. We acted like that never happened. And then once we leave each other, we go right back to the Snapchat. Like we never just saw each other in person. Does that make sense? But that always
totally
really freaking confused me. I even specifically remember one of my roommates. We would have like a full different life on Snapchat, but we would never talk about those like things inside our own home where we lived together. It just it just never made sense to me. Like it never came up was like,
I do
oh
feel
my God,
like
you just told me XYZ on Snapchat and that just never happened. Like the stories that happened on Snapchat stayed and then what happened in your real life?
Snapchat also switched a little. Like it went from being like a fun, quick photo of like what we were doing to because I didn't have it hit the microphone. I didn't have it until college. So it was probably 20, what did I say? I want to say it was like not even my freshman year. It was like after that, like maybe my sophomore year or like what should have been my junior year of college. But I do remember going back to the high school and visiting like my sisters and stuff and seeing how they used Snapchat or just like other kids around them. And they would do pictures so fast. Like it wasn't necessarily like even trying to show what you were doing or like a selfie. It was like over here, a random like, you can't see what I'm doing, but like would hold the phone in like a different space where like you're not even really in the image. It was just like it's like a fast, they were just doing it quickly to like Snapchat and keep streaks.
Just snap it. Streaks. Oh my God, I forgot about streaks.
Which was like so confusing to me. And like Kyle still sometimes will talk about it with his friend, him and his best friend Jason have had like a streak forever. And I think like 400 some odd days, like it's gone, and then they'll lose it for one day. And then he'll be like, Jason fucked up the streak. Or like, I fucked it up. I forgot to snap him. And they do just like funny, I don't know, like they both work construction. So they're up hella early in the morning, you know, so it's just them and they Snapchat the road or something. I don't know. But like Snapchat for sure had a shift where it went from being one thing to, I think, being something kind of secretive because of the messages being able to delete. And then to like just this fast paced game of streaks. I don't know how else to like explain what it is.
I think I also have a little bit of trauma with Snapchat because I definitely got cheated on and like found it out through Snapchat, which is just, I feel like probably a lot of people's stories. But I feel like it turned from just like fun and innocent into like one, like we can say and do whatever we want and it'll be gone. And then two, once people realize it's not actually gone and there's other ways people can like screenshot or save your stuff. And like,
Yeah.
I mean, horrible things have come out, you know, where people thought like, oh, I'm just saying this innocently on Snapchat and I'm not. Like, it's still the internet. It's going somewhere. Like, it's someone can find that.
Absolutely.
So I feel like there was like two dark sides to Snapchat when it was originally just really bad because it was secretive. And then once people realized it wasn't secretive and it could be manipulative. So,
yes. No, for sure. So yeah, I don't have it anymore. I have it with my few friends that like I use it with. It's definitely not like it's just not the platform anymore.
No,
for me,
it's
I
not.
guess.
It's not.
And I'm not saying I'm any better at any other ones. I enjoy Instagram, I think, the most because I understand that one the most.
Mm-hmm.
And TikTok just like seems new and fun. So I just like to play with the things on there. I like to play with the filters, play with the transitions, even though I actually have no idea how they work or like how to keep them trending.
Totally.
That makes sense.
Totally. That was all my
What's
hot
your
takes.
other one?
That was all of them.
Whoa, was that the one that was going to make you mad? Was that the one you thought was going to make you mad?
Yeah, because I knew you guys still used it, and I knew you guys
really
like, still.
So funny.
I mean, I knew because I remember
Not
the last time your sister actually watched Khalil for me way back, you know, probably over a year ago now. I remember like at one point throughout the day I texted her and like, hey, is everything going okay? Like I haven't heard from you guys at all. And she's like, what do you mean? I've been sending you Snapchats. And I was like, fuck off. I do not have that. Can you please just text me? Are you guys live?
Are you guys okay? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I was going to say she did send me several, like when I was in San Diego and she had Cohen. That is for sure how she showed me like what they were doing.
Yep.
Like I was getting Snapchats from her, but that's what I mean. My feed is literally, I have a group with my mom and my sisters. I have like my group with my Vegas besties. And then like everybody else is just kind of random. And like sometimes I'll put one thing on my story. I think I put Cohen's 1.5 years on there, but that's because I took the photo on there. And then I was like, okay, save this. Cute.
Right.
But yeah, it's different. It's different. It was
Do you have
really
any
fun
other
back
hot takes?
then. No, I was anxious about what you said I was going to be offended about.
That was just Snapchat.
I stopped thinking. I was like, oh gosh, okay, I'm going to really have to think. Am I going to what's my response going to be? No, that was not even a rough one. I don't think I have any other ones. I feel like we've talked for an hour and I just want this podcast to get posted.
Oh
I want it to make it into the space of podcast out there. I don't know what it would be called, but I really I want it to be out there because we have worked really hard. It takes us a lot of time to do it. And mostly Shannon. It takes Shannon the most time.
If you guys are hearing this on some sort of streaming service, this is your sign to please make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share, tell your friends, message us that you heard this because that means that the universe all came together for us to not only be able to record, save our recording, edit our recording, and post our recording, which apparently is not always in our favor.
Yeah, it's okay. Again, it's really not for you. It's for us, but it is for you because we want someone to listen.
Actually, yeah. We have, I think, a whopping, 15 monthly listeners, which thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening to our stories.
Closer to our 1,000 plays, which I'm really excited.
Oh,
I feel like once we hit 1,000 plays, that's just so crazy to me. So...
yeah, no, that's a lot of people tuning in to hear our voices.
Yep. Okay, well, thank you guys.
Well, I love you so much
joining us with our hot takes. As always, if you guys can give us any of your input, we do have an Instagram and a TikTok. Please follow there. You can comment, you can DM us on either one of them, and just give us your insight about literally anything. We would just love to have someone else.
Yeah,
bring some
I would really love to do a crazy story. I was thinking for Valentine's Day, but it's now past. So we can just say like, who cares? Just like a crazy dating story.
Yes.
I don't have crazy dating stories because I've been with my man my whole life. But I do enjoy like hearing other people's and like being like, oh,
if anyone has any like
you had to go
Mardi
through
Gras or St. Patrick's Day themed crazy stories, let us know.
Ooh, fun. That is next, right?
Yeah, we can keep it completely anonymous if you'd like us to, or if you'd like us to give you fake names, we can do that as well. But yeah, that'd be so fun. Also,
I would love that.
We will be having a Q&A episode coming up, so we will be posting on our Instagram stories for Q&A questions, and it can be literally about anything. It can be about us or just things that you want to hear
in general. If you want our opinion on something,
or if you want to just put the question out in the world and then hear what other people have to say about it, not specifically
I love
us,
that.
we can post those questions and get other people's feedback on it too. So
absolutely.
Again, like, follow, subscribe. We are everywhere, sorta. So we'd love for you to follow us.
We're everywhere, sorta. I love you.
I love
Bye,
you.
friend.
Bye.